Ladies and gentlemen, humans and wizards, it's time! Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection is out in 3 weeks on March 27th, and in a buck-wild turn of events, Capcom let me play the PC version of the game early for over a week now, so that I could put together this preview. Yes, a preview, not a review, so you aren't going to get my final verdict today. In all honesty, I'm just going to run this as if it were a Mega News video. That means, if you've had burning, deep questions about this collection, then go grab some snacks, a drink, and buckle in, because you're about to have the vast majority of them answered. First, here's some highlights to pique your curiosity. The noise mod gear and all other Japanese exclusive features are confirmed for Star Force 3 and the other games too. Let's go! The Lunar Knights quest and battle cards for Star Force 1 are here too. Sonia Strom's Ephemian partner, Lyra, has seemingly had her name relocalized to Harp, but only in Star Force 1. There is an entirely new voice dub for both English and Japanese languages, resulting in the Tribon transformations and more being spoken in English for the first time. There's some brand new voice clips added too that we'll get to, including the fact that they essentially gave the battles the Battle Network 5 Double Team DS treatment, with tons of talking going on in the fights. Don't worry, you can turn it off if you do find it annoying. Aside from those things, I'm going to share everything I legally can that I learned from the collection while browsing the menus and playing the single player. Yeah, just the single player. The online multiplayer is off limits for discussion until a later date, so I'll choose not to have the Satella police sent after me. Turns out that is because there is a new Capcom Spotlight happening on Thursday that will detail the robust online features. Yeah, I can agree with that description. Also, we're gonna have the top 6 Robot Masters for the Mega Man Dual Override contest revealed. That's exciting too. So, I guess stay tuned for my live reaction and future Mega News video about that to get all the details about the online features and whatever else they reveal. DLC maybe? Being transparent, I'm also limited in how much live gameplay I can show. So if you do notice that there's a lot of still screenshots in this video, that's why. Bear with me please. Anyways, yes, straight up, this preview exists for the fans. But if you are new to the series and happen to wander in, first of all, welcome in, and I hope you learned something new today. For you guys, all you need to know for now is Mega Man Star Force is a rad card battling action RPG series that originated on the Nintendo DS. It takes place 200 years after the events of Mega Man Battle Network, and if you happen to like Battle Network already, or card battling RPGs, or heck, RPGs in general, then you should absolutely give Star Force a shot. There's not many games like it even today. And honestly, this series has among the best character arcs in the entire Mega Man franchise. Pretty good storyline. Thankfully, the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection may be the best time ever to experience this trilogy, because while I'll still bring up my own nitpicks and concerns when they come up, it's easy to see that there is an incredible amount of love, care, and effort put into this collection. This seriously feels like more of a remaster rather than a port in some ways. Even in this early preview, it already trumps the prior Battle Network Legacy Collection in terms of the sheer amount of quality of life features, restored content, and fun additions. This could very well shape up to be the best of the Legacy collections to date. And I guess Capcom is confident of that too, considering they let us play this so early. Now, before we begin, I want to make something crystal clear. This is not the final build of the game I played, and I have reasons to believe a couple of changes are coming in a day 1 patch or later update. So if anything, treat this as a pre-release beta build. Anything I say can potentially become outdated in the future, I'll get into why I say that as we go through my findings here, which will be categorized into sections ranging from the main menus, settings, and galleries to individual discoveries about the 3 Star Force games. Ready? Legs go! Main menu. Similar to the Battle Network Legacy Collection with its 3D Mega Man EXE, the game begins with 3D Mega Man from Star Force 3 welcoming you into the collection. Unlike EXE, Star Force Mega is not quite as chatty. He will just stand there, quietly, without your input. So there's no more need for a silent mode toggle. Pressing the left bumper will have the 2 halves of Mega Man, Geostellar and his alien partner Omegasis, engage in some voiced banter. But keep going through the voice dialogues, and sometimes Geo will receive a voice transmission from his friends, like Bud Bison, Zach Temple, Luna Platts, and hey, even Sonya Strum is voiced in this collection. What's cool about this is all the characters in the game are reprised by their respective anime voice actors. That goes for both Japanese and English voices. Everyone is here. Take a listen for yourself.
Which version should I play?
The answer's easy. The coolest people play Pegasus.
Hold on! Geo, people with a burning passion for
According
games
to
play
the
Leo.
Zacpedia, Dragon is the most respected among all
Stop
the
it, everyone!
versions.
You're making it even harder to choose.
Ah, I see that Zach watched our Star Force 1 version guide. That Zacpedia of his sure has some good sources. By the way, speaking of, now that we'll be on the same page after this preview goes out, at long last, my Star Force 3 version guide can be finalized too. I said it before that it was coming out before the Legacy Collection is out, but given today's turn of events, I really want to take the time to incorporate the Legacy Collection exclusive content into the video, so the new release window for the guide is going to be around launch day on March 27th instead, so that you can still have that important information available to you by the time you start playing. For those of you who have been waiting, apologies for the wait, but thank you for your patience. Anyways, where was I? The settings. This is where the fun begins. First, let me briefly go over the settings features and then we'll dive into the never before seen options. Screen layout features the most robust customization of the 2 Nintendo DS screens that I have ever seen. You can change their position and size to pretty much any configuration that you can imagine, including the amazing Tate vertical display mode, which is the closest you're going to get to the originally intended presentation. In gameplay, the screens will automatically resize to display the active screen you're using, unless you set them to be equal size. Then there will be no resizing. Also, at any time you can press the left trigger to blow up the second screen and temporarily make it active. This is important for games like Star Force 3 that relies on pressing icons on the bottom screen to perform actions, which can all be done with a controller, by the way. No touchscreen required. Assist is a feature I so desperately wish existed in the Battle Network collection. By either holding or pressing the right trigger, you can activate a state that does 2 things depending on your settings. You can make Geo a fast boy, and either lower or raise the enemy encounter rate. You can even turn off random encounters completely this way, or raise it all the way to the max where an encounter occurs every step for the sake of grinding. Either way, this feature single-handedly fixes one of Star Force 2's major complaints. Plus, it's just nice to be able to get from point A to point B faster with no interruptions. Boy, I wish I could do that in Battle Network. The difficulty menu contains slider adjustments for raising the Mega Buster's power up to 500%, reduce damage to yourself to make yourself invincible to all damage. This is not a free super armor though. You will still flinch and suffer status effects from getting hit. Also, unfortunately, there's no way to increase damage to yourself for challenge runs. Kind of unfortunate. Then you can also increase money, aka Zenny, earned from battles up to 500%, enable full HP recovery after every battle like Battle Network 1, guarantee escape from battles, display the EX and version 2 boss sprites on the overworld, although in Star Force 1 it displays the Ephemian rather than the EM wave change form that you actually fight, which is interesting. And then there's one more option that has been hidden from trailers up till now. A toggle to enable the Mega Man Battle Network crossover content in the games. Weird that it's listed under difficulty, but hey, the BN Blaster is legal, baby! And hey, check out Mega Man EXE's new HD version of his BN6 mugshot. Aww, he looks adorable now. Controls is self-explanatory. For controllers, you can reassign any button except for movement and the buttons used for confirming and canceling on the menus. Unfortunately, those buttons are also used for the Mega Buster and card usage in battle. So that means if you use a PlayStation controller, the Mega Buster button will end up on circle, which doesn't feel quite right. Then, if you are using the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, when I switched the settings over to the Nintendo Switch glyphs, the buttons looked the part, but they were still laid out like an Xbox controller. So it was kinda all wrong, so the button prompts for things like Taurus Fire's bull riding threw me off at first. You can adjust to get around it somewhat though. Speaking of, the new default button for the shield is on X on a Nintendo Switch controller, whereas it used to be on Y in the original DS version. You might want to change that one if you don't want to break 20 years of muscle memory. Even now, I still go for the Y button for the shield every time. Then, there's wallpaper that we haven't seen too much of up till now. Besides the space background, which we've seen the whole time, and some artwork such as Sonya and Luna wallpaper so you can represent your favorite Star Force gal, people will also be happy to know that there are black and solid color borders too, something that was missing from the Battle Network collection at launch, until a later update. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, we get to see the general settings menu at long last. And this is the section where we can have a lot of fun. In language, we got access to Japanese and English for both text and voice. Then simplified and traditional Chinese for text. You can even mix and match, meaning you can play in English with Japanese voice acting. Sweet! Unfortunately, there are no subtitles available for the main menu dialogues though. This was the case in the Battle Network collection too, but I do wish they would include the subtitles even if they're just the English translation written out. In the graphics department, we can finally turn off that ugly smoothing filter, thank God. Then we have the toggle to switch between the original pixel art or the new HD art for the character mugshots and battle cards in game. All the HD assets are wonderful, faithful recreations of the original assets and truly transformative and improving the presentation of the games. You can see new details in the HD art that you may have missed before. Some of the new character mugshots do hit different though. Not in a bad way, just different. Like for Geo's portraits in Star Force 2, they bothered to draw his teeth while he's lip flapping. That was not a thing in the pixel art. Meanwhile, somehow, Zack manages to look even more smug in his new art. A quick word about the pixel art. I tested using them with the so-called high resolution filter turned on and off, and no matter what I did, I was not able to recreate the AI upscaled look that was seen in the early Tokyo Game Show demo. In fact, the filter does nothing to the mugshots. They're going to have crispy, pixelated edges no matter what you do, which is great news. I can breathe a sigh of relief for good that we never have to talk about the AI controversy ever again from this point forward. Whew. In audio, we could control the background music, effects, and voice channels separately. That's always cool. But then we have two very fascinating toggles: new voice and background music selection. Well, I guess I have to mention this now, huh? You see, there's a reason why the anime voice actors are reprising their roles for this collection outside of the main menus. You're going to get to hear Geo and Omegasys talk your ear off inside the games too. And no, I'm not exaggerating. They gave the BN5 Double Team DS treatment to the battles in this collection. Every time you start a battle, use a battle card, perform a lock-on mega attack, or win a battle, Geo and Omegasys will have something to say about it.
I'm counting on you, Mega. Go! Take this! How's this?
Here they come. Goodbye.
Go! Got you!
Did you really think you could beat us?
Now, in fairness, there is a surprisingly good amount of variations in the voice clips, but even then, I can get Omegasys saying "you're done" twice in a row at times. Almost all the battle clips are identical between the three games too, so don't expect that much variation when going into a different game either, which is going to get pretty annoying fast for some, if not most people. That's where the new voices option comes in. All turning new voices off does is removes most of the in-battle voice clips. However, you will still hear the voice clips for each of the Mega Man transformations and Big Bang special attacks throughout the series, just like in the original Star Force 2 and 3, even with the option turned off. Note that we're looking at an entirely new voice dub here, both Japanese and English for all three games. The original voices heard in the DS games are entirely gone and there is no bringing them back. The new voices toggle literally just exists to answer to people who are going to be annoyed by the frequency of the talking during battles. But I do understand that calling it new voices is very misleading and I was confused by it too. If it were up to me, I would probably call this the new battle voices toggle instead. Hey, there are some benefits to all the new voice dubs though. Now you get to hear the Star Force 2 Tribon voices officially localized in English.
Tribon! Ninja!
Even the Star Force transformations in 1 gets voice clips now too.
Star Force! Pegasus!
Oh, and Geo voices the whole EM Wave Change line in Star Force 1 and 2 now.
EM Wave Change! Geostellar! On the air!
That's sick. Overall, I can get behind the new voice clips too. Geo's English anime actor Jason Spizak put quite a bit more oomph behind the acting compared to the original Star Force 3 dub that could sound monotone at times.
Dino Wave!
Dino Wave!
So yeah, this new dub is pretty neat. And don't worry, Black Ace players, you're still gonna get your Blackened Galaxy! Then, as for the BGM selection, this is where you can toggle between the original soundtracks, the new arranged soundtracks in-game, more on that in the gallery section. The gallery. As we know, the gallery is standard fare for a legacy collection. It consists of artwork, music, battle cards, bonus cards, and awards, aka the achievements. Most of the galleries are self-explanatory, so I'll focus on the interesting things that stuck out to me. The artwork gallery indeed includes concept art that did not appear in the official Complete Works book. Furthermore, there is a special section where you will find the Legacy Collection key art, as well as any promotional illustrations that were done for magazines, events, merchandise, and anniversary celebrations over the years. Music consists of the 3 Star Force OSTs, Legacy Collection original music, DLC tracks, and there is brand new arranged versions of every single piece of music in the Star Force games. They went hardball this time, because they even bothered to do remixes for music that will end up going unused in the game because the feature is inaccessible, like Star Force 2's Sky High Coliseum. Oh, whoops, let that cat out of the bag, didn't I? I'll talk about what they did to Sky High Coliseum in the Star Force 2 section, but yeah, it's gone. I am really depressed by this news as well, even though I 100% expected it. Anyway, my initial impressions for the new arranged music? Well, they definitely got that modern Capcom sound team sound similar to past Legacy Collection music, with lots of techno sounds and guitar solos, which fits the vibe of the series well enough. There's actually a good amount of bangers in here, but not all of them are going to be winners. There are definitely cases where I prefer the original music better. That said, no matter what I think in the end, I am super glad that Capcom produced these arranged soundtracks at all, as they provide a fun, fresh playthrough experience for returning players. It really makes the games feel like a proper remaster when using these. Anyway, I'll have more detailed thoughts about this in the eventual review, as these are still early days for me. At least we still got the favorites feature. With a button you can assign any track to your favorites playlist, so you can then set the game to shuffle between the tracks for each battle while playing. Next, I would be remiss not to talk about this. You might be wondering, what did they do to Sonya's concert music in Star Force 3, which normally just plays the Shooting Star version 3 theme from the title screen? Well, there is indeed a remix for the concert, but not just one, 2 remixes. And hey, they're separate remixes from the main title screen theme this time too. Curiously, one is titled Sonya Live Version and the other Misora Live Version. For the uninitiated, Misora is Sonya's name in Japan. Furthermore, it appears the lyrics during the concert scene in Star Force 3 have been altered to better match the beats of the music. So clearly all of this is proof that they actually did it, right? They finally got Sonya and Misora to sing in the game. Well, not yet at least. As of right now in the build I'm playing, they're just instrumental remixes with no singing to be heard, even when you listen inside of Star Force 3 itself. I checked. What's more, the remix sounds identical beat for beat, no matter which of the 2 versions you listen to. So that alone has me very suspicious that the singing was either planned at one time, or it is still coming in a future update. And that's why I say this is basically a beta build. Guess I'm going to have to update you guys on this rather curious situation in the review then, or, and I won't put it past Capcom, maybe a trailer will go live revealing the singing right as I post this video and make me look stupid. Yeah, that would work too. Now, I'll end off the music talk with a silly mistake that I discovered. In the Star Force 2 album, when I played the network theme, the Wave Square music played instead. Yeah, the 2 pieces of music appear to be swapped around in the files, so they end up being mislabeled. Hopefully a future update addresses that. Alright, finally moving on to the battle card gallery. Very self-explanatory once again. You can look at the entire library of battle cards for each game here, including all of the illegal cards for Star Force 3. Only thing missing are the event cards because they're in the bonus cards menu instead. Also, as we spotted in the Capcom TV demo, there is indeed a pixel art toggle. I will say, seeing them back to back like this makes me appreciate the extra details in the HD art even more. Okay, you've probably been waiting to get a good look at this. The bonus cards menu. What goodies lie inside? First of all of the event exclusive cards are indeed here. And yup, Capcom wasn't kidding when they said they were giving everyone legal access to the 3 Satellite Admin GX cards in Star Force 3, which were previously only usable through the secret satellite server feature. You can straight up download and add 1 copy of each one of the cards into your card box natively. My sincere condolences to all of the competitive wave battlers out there. But Capcom already revealed all that before, so here's some new stuff. Luckily, there is some good news to be had here. For Star Force 1, we got the Lunar Knights cards confirmed! Yes! Every version of them from 1 to 3 is available to download to your pack. Previously, the version 3s could only be used through the Lunar Knights brother band, but I haven't made it far enough to see if that brother band made the cut, or if the Lunar Knights quest itself is still going to be a thing, considering they just gave us all the cards outright. So I'll get back to you on that. Of course, Star Force 2 has all the wave command cards intact and ready to go too. Then there's Star Force 3, and my friends, it is with immense pleasure that I can finally confirm that all the Japanese exclusive gameplay features that were cut from the Western release are here in the Legacy Collection version of Star Force 3, officially localized in English. In the bonus card menu, we can see all the noise cards, white cards, and purpose cards are here. And those aren't the only returning features that Western players will get to experience for the first time, at least outside of cheating devices. And we'll cover it all coming up in the Star Force 3 section, so hang tight. Lastly, we have awards. Now, I'm not going to spoil the entire achievements list, I'll let Capcom do that, but on the whole, there's a big difference with this list compared to the Battle Network collection. Namely, the story-based achievements have been cut down to a minimum of just the beginning and then the very end. None of the achievements are hidden this time around either. Instead, they're looking for a 100% completion of all the games, and then there's some RNG-based challenges and other feats thrown into the mix too. However, unlike Battle Network Legacy Collection, you won't need to play every version to platinum this game. That's because there is nothing specific for transformations, version exclusive bosses, or even beating a specific version. None of that. It's just straight up, did you 100% Star Force 3? Good, that's all you need. Doesn't matter what version you played to do it. That means you do not, in fact, have to play Star Force 2 4 times for the platinum. Well, you can technically still do it to fill in the stars on the game selection menu if you enjoy pain.
Well, threaten me with a good time.
But hey, really good to know that it's not necessary. Okay, there is one achievement in particular that's fascinating. One specifically mentions defeating Acid Ace BB and Dread Joker RR in Star Force 3. For the uninitiated, these two fellas could only be encountered randomly while playing online PvP matches, so they obviously became lost media when the DS Online servers went down. Well, apparently, not anymore, and that's nice to hear. Although, I'll have to get back to you on how to actually encounter them in the Legacy Collection once I find out for myself. All the games. Okay. The rest of this video is going to be rapid firing out interesting notes I found for all three games. At this stage, I'm pretty certain that this collection utilizes the Japanese versions of the games as a base, similar to how the Battle Network collection did it. That means you can generally expect Japanese exclusive elements to be here. That said, let's get on with the notes, starting with the ones that affect all three titles. In general, all three games have an entirely new voice dub featuring all of the anime actors reprising their roles. This applies to both Japanese and English voices. That means everything has been redone and lines previously only spoken in Japanese are now dubbed in English too. There is no way to switch to the old voices from the DS versions. In battle, Geo and Omegasis have brand new voice lines at the start of a battle. Each time you use a battle card, perform a locked-on Mega attack, get deleted, or win the fight.
I'm counting on you, Mega. Go! Take this! How's this?
Here they come. Goodbye.
Go! Got you!
Did you really think you could beat us?
In Star Force 1 and 2, new voice clips have also been added for EM wave changing in English or Denpa Henkan in Japanese.
EM wave change! Geostellar! On the air!
There's also additional voices for the Star Force transformations in Star Force 1 and more.
Star Force! Pegasus!
In all games, you can press the right stick in to activate free camera mode. That allows you to spin the camera around the entire area that you are in. Useful for navigation and for certain puzzles that require you to explore. Activating the free camera will also freeze the game world around you. all animations and NPCs will stop in their tracks. In general, all menu assets, menu backgrounds, character artworks, battle cards, text, buttons, models in battle, and more have all been either redrawn or upscaled to HD. At this point, the only pixelated graphics that remain are in the overworld itself. It really feels more like a remaster than a port, right? I did notice a funny little thing though. When you press OK after selecting battle cards in battle, a little loading icon will show for a split second as the cards load into the bottom of the top screen. It's a small thing, but one of those times where we're like, why have a loading icon at all? Just leave it blank so that when the card pops up it looks natural. Cutscenes like the title screen animations and the EM wave changing transitions have been remade in HD and reworked to fit a single screen too. For Star Force 1 and 2, the ability to draw your own brother profile picture is removed for obvious reasons. In its place, you have access to the HD versions of all the character mugshots throughout the 3 games, including some color variants. In an awesome cameo, you can even set your profile picture to Mega Man EXE and Lan Hikari from the Battle Network series. And yo, check out the new drawings of their Battle Network 6 mugshots. Totes adorbs. None of this applies to Star Force 3 by the way. It looks like your profile just defaults to the last noise change you used like in the original. At least in the PC version, your codename on your brother profile reflects your Steam username. There doesn't appear to be a way to change your name in-game. Okay, this one might be my single biggest con of the entire collection so far. Transparency effects, like those seen on barriers, auras, and wave roads in the background, do not display correctly. Instead, a dithering effect is used to give the illusion of transparency, but it's definitely not the same as the DS version. Basically, it's similar to how the Sega Saturn handled transparency in its games. If you know, you know. Emulators have historically struggled to display the transparency effects correctly in the Star Force games, and it appears Capcom couldn't find a good solution in this case either, at least in this pre-release build. It's a shame too, because you can see quite a bit of shimmering in the dithering patterns, and once you notice that, it's pretty distracting, not gonna lie. So in the original Star Force 2 and 3, the moment an enemy encounter happened, the music would immediately cut out when you go into the battle transition. Not in the Legacy Collection. Now, in Star Force 2 and 3, the overworld music keeps playing through the enemy encounter transition until the battle loads in. Similar to Star Force 1 actually. In case you're wondering, I didn't see any options to skip battle tutorials in 1 and 3. Sorry. You could still do so in 2 though, and that's why 2 is the best. So we know that in Battle Network Legacy Collection, all the in-game dialogue was left basically untouched. Not entirely the case in the Star Force Legacy Collection. Capcom definitely went in and made some adjustments. Here are some examples. In Star Force 1 and 2, Mega Man's name now properly has a space in the middle of his name in text dialogue. That's right, Mega Man with no space is so 2000X now. After all, this is supposed to be 2200X. However, Mega Man EXE got caught up in the space insertions too, because now his name matches Star Force Mega Man's, despite the fact that EXE is the one Mega Man that should not have a space in his name. Well, in Star Force 3's first Waza cutscene, Netrika now has a space down the middle as well. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Really? Why is that a thing? I don't know. That isn't to say that the typos are fixed in the games, however. There's actually quite a few still laying about if you look for them. I found this one during Star Force 3's Spade Madness scenario, with an old lady having broken asterisk usage in her text. And then in the early game of Star Force 2, When Geo says, "I see," it's still in all caps. Furthermore, the tutorials at the beginning of the games for menu navigation, brother bands, and more are intact and updated to reflect the changes made in the Legacy Collection. And then there's the coolest change. All battle card descriptions are no longer abbreviated and written with full-length sentences, resulting in better explanations. Can't complain about that. Now some gameplay specific notes. In all games, the bonus cards can be accessed from the battle card menu through your card box, allowing you to download all the event cards, Lunar Knights cards, and even the satellite admin cards into your card box. Speaking of Lunar Knights, we were worried for a moment about this because the Lunar Knights posters were not put up on the wall in the Spica Mall. However, we can now confirm that the Lunar Knights quest that involves you meeting the main characters and fighting the villain in a cutscene is all here and intact in the Legacy Collection. That is huge because this is going to be the first time that this quest is available in English, outside of fan mods anyway. Wonderful news! That said, we haven't seen any sign of the Lunar Knights brother band. There's no event brother entry for it or anything like that, like the ones in Star Force 2. So yeah, I ain't looking too good about the brother at least, because we do already have the cards anyway. Alright, this one actually caught me off guard. All the cipher codes are now accessible in-game through a list. You just tap and immediately obtain the prize through. Gone are the days of looking up the codes on the internet. Although the game still give you the option to input them manually if you really want to, which in that case a small little text box will show up where you can just type with your keyboard. Man, I wish Battle Network had this for the number trader codes. In Star Force 1 and 2, the ciphers are accessed from the email menu, and it appears that you can't send emails to people in the Legacy Collection anymore as a result. I guess they devised this to get around the curse word filter for Liber Scales SP's cipher code in Star Force 1. And finally in Star Force 3, you select the ciphers from the list when talking to Hang 10 at Big Wave. Autosaving is now a thing in all the games. Autosaving is indicated by the angel hearts appearing in the top right corner, and the game appears to autosave every time you enter a new room or area. The autosave shows up as its own save slot when pressing continue on the title screen. Unfortunately, there is only one manual save slot per game outside of Star Force 3, which still has its 2 slots. But the autosave can be used as a temporary second slot as long as you never put down a manual save. By the way, manual saving is basically instant now. Pretty cool. Alternatively, you can press the Y button to continue from the collection main menu, and this way you will entirely bypass the title screen and load right back into your save. That's a neat little time save. We saw this before in the Tokyo Game Show demo, but yep, the choice to rename Geo at the beginning of the game is indeed gone. He shall forever be known as Geo Stellar. Surprisingly, the Wave Scanner power-ups are available. For the uninitiated, the Wave Scanner was a toy that you could buy in Japan to connect to your game and give power-ups to Mega Man. So, pretty cool to see in the collection. These are accessed in the Mega menu, and all power-up levels are freely selectable. This is big news because through the Wave Scanner, you can start battles already in your version Star Force transformation. That way, you can pretend like you're playing Star Force DX. Kinda. There's no actual DX features in the Legacy Collection, of course. Hey, that means, wow, Dragon really is the best version to play. Free status guard on turn 1? Sign me up. Speaking of the Star Forces, Geo will now yell out, "Star Force, Dragon," and so on when transforming.
Star Force, Pegasus!
Alright, here's how pulsing into comps and transers work in the Legacy Collection. If there is even a tiny pixel of a comp or transer on your screen, a targeting reticle will appear around it. Then you press the A button to go right in. That means the range to pulse in is extremely generous in this game. Possible speedrun techs incoming? In addition, Geo will even yell out "Pulse in" when going into a comp.
Pulls in!
With all that in mind, you may be wondering, how does the game handle talking to NPCs while a pulse in reticle is on screen? Since pulsing in and talking to NPCs are the same button, the game will prioritize talking to the NPC over pulsing in. So, phew, don't gotta worry about that. Speaking of Star Force 1's text boxes, yeah, there's still a lot of dead space with the dialogue boxes, but there was just one instance in my playtime so far where I did see a word go over into the third line on the text box. So it does get used rarely after all, but yeah, most of the time expect to see the text optimized for 2 lines like the original game because of how gigantic the font was. When using the EX Boss display function, the Ephemian will show on the overworld instead of the EM wave changed form. So you're going to see Taurus instead of Taurus Fire, who you're actually supposed to fight. Or you're going to see Harp, instead of Harp Note. Interesting. Oh yeah, speaking of Lyra, hey, remember when the Star Force English anime called Harp Note Lyra Note? Well, we got the opposite happening here. Sonia's Ephemian partner, Lyra, is now known as Harp. Perhaps to match with Harp Note? But this relocalization only occurs in Star Force 1. She is still called Lyra in 2 and 3. This smells of something a future update could address. Which way it will go though, that I'm not sure of. So hey, phasing through NPCs by running up against them is pretty fun in Star Force 2 and 3, right? Did they backport that feature to Star Force 1 so you don't get stuck inside of NPCs anymore? Nope, not at all. And I can still get myself temporarily stuck, although it only happened to me after about a minute of actively trying to recreate the issue. I haven't had it happen to me while casually playing through yet. Don't know if that means they adjusted things or not, but there you go. There were also concerns from the early Tokyo Game Show demo about the fire effects on Taurus Fire and the Tailburner virus. I am happy to report that those have been fixed now, and so far I have not noticed any glaring graphical glitches in all the battles, aside from the transparency thing. And that's a good segue into Taurus Fire's dungeon. In the Tokyo Game Show demo, we saw that the bulls on the track were stuttering quite a bit. Well, that issue has been fixed up too. It is a smooth ride all along the track now. Well, except for, the bull riding itself. Although, there is a new problem now. The tracks don't change color to blue anymore like they should once you grab the key. As for the bull riding itself, like we saw before, the QuickTime event is handled through buttons pressed on the controller. Only, they made the QTE brain dead easy in Legacy Collection. Pressing the wrong button doesn't count as a failure, so you can literally just mash all the face buttons and remove all the challenge completely. It is hilarious how easy it is now if you just mash. I have to wonder if it's an oversight because, man, what were they thinking with that? And then in Cygnus's dungeon, the screen orientation automatically switches to the standard DS layout when you have to line up the rockets to hit the swans. Yeah, that makes sense. One more early game example for you. The Taurus Fire bull riding is now way too easy, but maybe all that removed difficulty got pumped into Harp Note's minigame instead, because that one is way harder now. Everything is handled with the face buttons of course, but that was already an option in the original DS game too. The hard part comes in the way that the music notes are handled. Instead of coming at you in formations of 1, 2, 3 like in the DS game, the music notes will now attack you from all directions at once. Good grief, this is straight up just the 100 Warriors minigame from Mega Man Battle Network 5 now. Lastly, if you want an example of how another touchscreen minigame is handled, the RC Copter Navi card now lets you control the copter with the D-pad or analog stick. Maybe Capcom is taking notes from Star Force DX after all.
Mega Man Star Force 2.
The title screen is voiced by Geo and Omegasys, even in English.
Mega Man Star Force 2, Zerker Saurian.
Mega Man Star Force 2, Zerker Ninja.
It looks like more characters' voices are added as you make story progress too. I got Luna Platz's voice in the mix for my save file even without having beaten the game.
Mega Man Star Force 2, Zerker Ninja.
For the first time, the Tribond transformation voice clips are dubbed in English. That means Dinosaur becomes Saurian in English and so on.
Tribond Ninja.
Power-ups from the Star Carrier toy and Wave Command cards are accessed through the Mega Man menu. All power-up levels are freely selectable. You can even choose between normal, Zerker, Ninja, and Saurian Star Carriers. In the Brother menu, selecting Edit Bro will reveal a category for Special Brothers. This is where you will find the 8-bit Classic Mega Man and Legendary Master Shin Event Brothers. If you ever delete the Event Brothers, the wave stations, located in the Wilshire Hills Shopping Plaza, will still restore them for you. And next door to those wave stations is Legendary Master Shin. Alright then, so what did happen to the Sky High Coliseum? Legendary Master Shin is still there at the desk at the top of the Wilshire Hills Shopping Plaza, but now he just tells you about ranked and casual battle mode in the network menu. No mention of Sky High Coliseum at all. Rest in peace. You look like such a cool mode. But I guess it was always destined to fall into obscurity because it was just a local wireless feature in the original. Shame. I did run into a funny glitch though. When I tried to talk to Legendary Master Shin at the desk right after the Dark Phantom scenario wrapped up, his mugshot would display as the young woman who used to be in his place, telling you that the movie is cancelled. The issue did fix itself after a tiny bit of progress though. The Brother profile menu has a cuss word filter, as you would probably expect. It just turns the letters into asterisks. Thankfully, it won't censor any words that accidentally contains a cuss word, so you can still type out things like Massimo with no problem. The mass is free! Blank cards have their own list menu for those Wave Command cards where you can load in powerful standard cards in every Mega and Giga class card in the game. All version exclusive Gigas included. And of course, even the 3 Admin GX cards. Yeah, the days of manually inputting star patterns against a blank space background are officially over. I got some nostalgia for it too, but yep, nowhere here in this collection. It does save you the trouble of having to look all of them up, and then try to align the patterns with the little card that they give you in the Wave Command Code book. So yeah, I do actually appreciate the time save because that was kind of annoying.
Mega Man Star Force 3.
You can perform every action with just a controller now, including selecting hidden battle cards in battle and opening pop-ups on the bottom screen. No more need for a touchscreen. Since the Legacy Collection uses your Steam profile's name as the codename, the game will automatically skip the prompt to set a codename when it comes up at the beginning of the story. A cursor that you can move with the D-pad has been added to the bottom screen to access touch functions. This cursor only appears when the bottom screen is in focus. And by the way, it's not a mouse cursor, it just snaps to the different icons. We also tried using the bottom screen with an actual mouse since, you know, it's the PC version, but that didn't work either, so yeah, this collection is entirely controller only as far as we're aware. Transcode Mega Man is newly recorded along with every other voice line in the game. Not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the new English transcode line. This goes for both Japanese and English. The original voice dubs from the DS no longer exists.
Transcode Mega Man. Transcode Mega Man.
The robotic voice for the menu options are different too. In fact, I think it just matches the Japanese original now. Probably because this is the Japanese version. But I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the original robotic voice in the original English version. The 3 Satellite Admin GX cards are included in the downloadable bonus cards menu, along with the event cards like Acid Arrest. And now here's the section you've all been waiting for. The Noise Kaizo gear is now officially available in English, and is indeed localized to Noise mod gear. Noise cards are accessed through the Mega Man menu, where you can play the Noise Poker minigame to add various boosts to Mega Man. The Secret Satellite server is accessed through the Brother menu, where you can place an access icon into a Brother slot. Selecting this icon in battles gives you a hand of cards from a preset folder depending on your level. If you level it up really high, you can get some hilariously broken cards like, the Satellite admin cards. Anyways, choosing to overwrite the access icon in the Brother menu displays an entire flowchart showing all the levels and the battle cards contained within, even categorized by the APC choices you get in the battles. Yo, that's actually really awesome. You may also press a button to unlock all of the levels at once if you don't want to level them up manually. Purpose cards, which give abilities to your finalized form, and white card loadouts are accessed through the personal page, all selected from a list. The Transformation Archive, which allows you to go into any noise change while using a preset folder themed around them, is accessed by swapping views to the bottom screen and pressing the T archive icon. Each noise has 3 preset folders. The higher level folders are unlocked by increasing Mega Man's base HP without power-ups to 200 for level 2 and 350 for level 3. The wave roadmap, accessed from the wave stations, looks high resolution too. Here's another strange thing that could get addressed in a future update. During the Diamond Ice scenario, Taurus is once again voiced, and although Neo Kaplan is credited as reprising his role from the anime,
You betrayed us, Omega Sis. Hand over the Andromeda Key. Then I'll just destroy you and take it back!
in-game, Taurus sounds nothing like Neo Kaplan. I was taken aback to find that Taurus actually sounds a lot more like Bud's actor Michael Greco. But take a listen here and tell me what you think.
Taurus Flames! Taurus Flames!
How odd, right? My most charitable explanation is maybe they thought it was supposed to be Taurus Fire during recording, because the anime does use the human host's voice when Ian wave changed.
I am no longer Taurus! I am Torrent Fire!
But of course, true Star Force fans know that the Ephemian itself has their own unique voice and personality, meaning that Taurus and Taurus Fire are not the same character. Although this still doesn't explain Neo Kaplan appearing in the credits. Is there a future update coming? And I guess to be feature complete about this, Ace and Acid in Star Force 3 have new voice actors too. According to the credits, Ace is done by Lucien Dodge, and Acid is voiced by Roger Rose. Cool to see that their voices are still around even though there was never a Star Force 3 anime at all. I suppose this way we can get a little taste of what that may have sounded like. Especially when you get to a certain part of the game where Acid inhabits your VG Hunter. Gonna say now, I hope you're not fond of the Luna Frag search clip, because now that has been replaced with Acid just saying searching.
Searching.
That change also causes the searching itself to go a lot faster, so the timing of the frag appearing is no longer timed with the text box. Interesting. Lastly, as covered previously, there is no singing during Sonia's concert in the game, at least not yet, despite there being a Misora and Sonia live version each for the new arrangement. That's a shame, but I am praying and hoping for that future update that might hopefully give us the singing that we're looking for. In conclusion, while the jury is still out whether this game will earn the right to call itself the perfect collection as it is known in Japan, I can say this. Star Force Legacy Collection is already blowing the Battle Network Legacy Collection sky high out of the water in terms of quality of life features and making meaningful improvements to the visual and audio experience, despite some nagging issues that we hope does get addressed in a future patch. It's almost like Capcom said, alright, we got Battle Network working at least, now let's just brainstorm 2 years about what would be cool for Star Force and just do it, man. Because I'll say it again, you can't deny the seemingly insane amount of love and care going into every facet of this collection. It really shows. So guys, I'm going to keep playing through the collection now, and I'll be back closer to launch with my final verdict and some more notes, such as the online network features that we weren't allowed to discuss today. Until then, the next Star Force video should be the long-awaited Star Force 3 version guide. I can finally finish that now that we know that the Japanese exclusive features are in. Huzzah! Thank you so much for watching. No, seriously, thank you for being here, being part of the journey, and supporting the channel, because without you guys, I don't think I would even be here talking to you about Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection almost an entire month before the release. So, thank you so much, really. If you are enjoying all the Star Force coverage and are looking to pre-order the game on Steam, the version that I showcased today, consider checking out my Nexus store page at nexus.gg/ShadowRockZX, where you can pre-order the Star Force Legacy Collection, get the game on launch day, and support the channel while you're at it, as the channel does get part of the proceeds from the sale. Otherwise, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for the upcoming Mega Man Star Force content, including the review of the collection and all things Mega Man 2. Until then, thank you everybody, rock on, and have yourselves a wonderful time zone.